We all love our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but let's not forget this hero also has an incredible rogues gallery. We waited patiently, well, maybe less than patiently, but we still waited for years to see Mysterio in the MCU. And before we knew it, he was gone. Did one of Spidey's most nefarious foes really come and go in a single movie? Or did we overlook a crucial detail that could prove this is just another one of his illusions? Maybe it wouldn't hurt to watch the final battle scene from Spider-Man Far From Home just one more time to be sure. Sometimes losing a character helps make the time we had them seem all the more meaningful. Or at least that's what we tell ourselves to try to get the tears to stop. It's definitely possible to have a fantastic villain in a one-and-done movie. Just look at what a fantastic villain Killmonger was, despite only being in the movie Black Panther. But letting villains linger, having them get to know their opponent, and building suspense can have a huge payoff too. Imagine if we lost Darth Vader at the end of A New Hope. We're here to talk about Quentin Beck, also known as Mysterio, also known as one of Spider-Man's most nefarious foes. He's a fantastic foil for the masked web-slinger, and he's even one of the founding members of the notorious Sinister Six. And Spider-Man Far From Home did a great job of bringing him to the big screen. He was played by the talented Jake Gyllenhaal, and his comic book origin story got an excellent modern upgrade that helped tie him into the MCU. Instead of just being a professionally frustrated special effects artist, he was a disgruntled Stark Industry employee who was still mad at Tony Stark for calling his cool tech barf. Honestly, we see his point on that one. Mysterio had compelling motives, a good back and forth with Spider-Man, and did we mention he was played by Jake Gyllenhaal? He's just so dang talented. And then we lost him by the end of the movie. Life is just so unfair sometimes. Sure, he did play one last trick on Peter at the end of the film by framing him for the drone attack, and we got to see J. Jonah Jameson, but it's still not quite the same. Would Marvel really give us the Quentin Beck we always wanted, only to cruelly rip him away from us after a single movie? Okay, yeah, they would, but did they really? Let's take a closer look. Reddit user ChaosGrunt03 pointed out something interesting about Mysterio's face. You'll notice that his pupils are extremely constricted. But this scene happens just moments after Mysterio loses his life, so there's no way his pupils should be so tiny. Your irises are made up of muscle fibers that can contract or expand depending on the situation. His pupils are tiny, meaning the muscles in his eyes are constricted. But if he was really gone, then the muscles in his eyes would have released their tension along with all other muscles in his body. This means if he was truly gone, his pupils should have been dilated and much bigger than normal, instead of the tiny specks that they are in this scene. Of course, we know that movies aren't always 100% realistic. Really, our first hint was that this is a movie about a kid that got bitten by a radioactive spider and ended up becoming a superhero instead of having to go to the hospital. But if they were just going to make this the end of Mysterio, why bother showing his face at all? There was no need for such a close-up shot with the glaring error. We wouldn't be surprised to see this same scene in a third movie, but have his pupils widen and all of a sudden he's breathing and scheming again. Hey, Loki isn't the only one in the MCU who can play the old "I'm still alive" switcheroo. He might not be a god, but Mysterio has some tricks up his sleeve too. In the comic books, Mysterio definitely isn't a one-and-done villain. He's a founding member of the Sinister Six, and he deserves some, well, maybe not respect, but he definitely deserves to stick around for more than a single movie. Frankly, Mysterio being gone for good would mean taking seeing the Sinister Six in the MCU off our vision board, and we are not ready to do that yet. Losing Mysterio so fast is as ridiculous as J. Jonah Jameson deciding he has more than enough pictures of Spider-Man. He always wants more pictures of Spider-Man. With Mysterio in the MCU, we were so close to having the Sinister Six on the big screen. Or at least that's what we've been telling ourselves. Adrian Toomes, the Vulture, was in Spider-Man Homecoming. Venom is at one point a substitute for Doc Ock in the comics, and he's part of Sony's universe. Now that Sony and Disney are playing nice again, maybe he could show up in the MCU, and many fans think they've been teasing Sinister 12 member Norman Osborn since Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay, maybe we're dreaming big here, but all we're saying is that it isn't outrageous to think that Mysterio's time in the MCU isn't quite over. We're almost afraid to get our hopes up, but we're still hoping Mysterio isn't really gone. Would you like to see the return of Quentin Beck, or are we grasping at straws here? Let us know what you think in the comments section below, and then click subscribe for more great videos from CBR. Bye for now.